today's going to be slightly different than usual. To those of you who don't know me, my name is Kasia and I make and drink a lot of coffee. But most importantly, I make sure that you know how to do it as well. There are main two purposes of this video. One, to make sure that you know how to brew coffee, and we will be using, actually none of these. This baby, simply because everybody's got one at home. And surprisingly, not everybody knows how to do it. And I mean, let's be honest, neglecting actual technique of brewing this thing can burn your coffee and make the most superior drink taste not so. And this is exactly what we do want to try to avoid. And especially because today on the grinder I've got very interesting coffees. The Daterra Sweet Collection. Let me take you through a little bit of an explanation. If you ever bought any specialty coffee, you probably came across Daterra Coffees. What Daterra is, it's agriculture, so it's a series of small coffee farms around Brazil. And at the moment there's about 216 different coffee farms that you can get your coffee from. And they all are a part of Daterra Estate. The company was born in 1976, and if anybody knows anything about coffee, these guys are on the top of their game. Not only providing us with the most delicious coffees, but also working really hard towards creating a sustainable model so we can enjoy our coffees for a very long time. The Daterra Estate does produce a variety of different coffees, and interestingly, every single farm is harvested individually. Each coffee farm is harvested depending on its optimal maturation of the coffee cherries. So today, as I mentioned, I am using Sweet Collection by my beloved Monsoon Estates, and thanks to these guys I'm even here doing this video. What I decided to do is simply let the bean to speak for itself. This is exactly the reason why I'm using cafetiere. Because end of the day, to extract the coffee, all you need is water and time. So I've got cafetiere, I've got my scales, and I need some beans. The first thing I'm going to do is pre-ground my coffee. So if you follow me, you know I'm all about the grind. And that simply means we need to make sure it's ground properly. So if you don't have a grinder, get a pre-ground coffee for the device you will be using. Small thing like grinding your own beans will keep your coffee fresher for a little bit longer. So I strongly recommend you get yourself one. Anyways. So if you want, you can weigh your beans and grind them, and you're gonna know rather than just scooping everything out. If you don't, simply use a spoon. I do understand that not everybody is using Keygen scales or any sort of scales for making the coffee. Not everybody does, right? I'm not here to judge. I'm gonna show you how to make the coffee. That is my thing. Okay, so let's get some beans. So the first thing that really hits me is the smell of the coffee. I mean, there's a reason why it's called Sweet Collection, but it's more of a caramel sweet than a chocolate sweet. I'm actually quite excited to drink it because I haven't had it for quite a while. So what we're gonna do now, we will grind our coffee. So we want to grind it to rather coarse grind. So for cafetiere, you normally want to have quite flaky, coarse grind. No, you cannot use espresso grind because you're simply gonna burn your coffee before you even make it. So now when it's ground, it actually smells more of a, I don't know if you guys ever had, there's a cookie with caramel chunks, but it's covered with chocolate. It's like a digestive style biscuit. Yeah, that's how it smells. This is what you need. The most specialist equipment on the planet. Yes, a spoon, like. If you don't have a scale, that's fine. So water just click off at the boil. I don't want to be using boiling hot water, right? I want my water to be about 94, 96 degrees. So simply means I want to leave it on the side for about a minute when it's cooling down. And that is a perfect minute for me to weigh my coffee. Normally I would say for a cup of coffee, you're looking about 3 heap teaspoons of coffee. So that's 1, 2, and it's 3. You want about 60 grams per liter, which makes 15 grams per a single cup. So 250 milliliters. And also, I'm actually not going to be using that. But we're making coffee like every single mortal person today, so this is what we use. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to bloom my coffee, and that means I'm going to degas it. And what that means is that simply I'm going to put some water into it so the coffee starts releasing carbon dioxide and make it more accessible for us to extract all those flavors from the beans. So simple as that. All you want to do is put a small amount of water over your grounds. That's it. Just make sure you give it a little bit of stir. I stirred it now, some people do it later, whichever way you want it. After around 30 seconds, and this is probably the hardest part for you to do, so watch carefully. And now all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna leave it for about 3 minutes. And this is pretty much how the cupping would take place. So then you break the crust, remove the crust, and you're basically tasting the coffee in its most basic natural form that you can. And this is, guys, the main reason why I'm not using Chemex or Aeropress or espresso machine. I just want coffee to do its own thing for me. And I personally think cafetiere is something that everyone should have at home. All these superior coffee that you can get, you can still make a really nice cup out of it with no effort, minimal knowledge, but maximum flavor. So the time is clocking in for about 4.5 minutes since that coffee is sitting around the water. There's one more thing I'm gonna do. You're gonna need 2 separate spoons, and you want to break and scoop that coffee just like you would do over a cupping. So that will give me a clearer cup. And if you haven't tried it, I definitely recommend you do. It's a life changer, all I'm gonna say. So pretty much at this point, our coffee is ready to drink. So now, don't rush. That's my advice. Slowly go down and slowly push that plunger down, because you don't want to disturb the coffee that already sunk too much, because then you're gonna have sludge going into your cup. And I mean, you do you, but I wouldn't recommend it. And voila, your sweet collection French press is done. Well, actually it's mine, you can get yours. And you actually do want it, because these guys are amazing and they plant a tree for every single kilogram of coffee they sell. So give Daterra a shout out, hit the links to Monsoon websites, and just grab yourself a sweet collection to enjoy at home with your French press or anything else you do. That's all from me now. Stay happy, safe and caffeined. And I'm going to see you sooner than later. Mwah. Now I need to clean it. I've got like 15 minutes to leave. Why do I leave everything as the last? Well, I'm going to have a coffee first. And there's something to do with peanut butter. I literally, it tastes to me like caramel peanut butter. I love peanut butter. Okay, I need to start getting ready. All right, love you all. See ya.